The word Epicurean means expensive taste. Fancy restaurants use it. Wine clubs use it. It sounds like a philosophy built around indulgence. Eat well, drink well, chase pleasure wherever you find it. The actual philosopher behind that word lived on bread and water. Epicurus bought a house in Athens around 306 BC, set up a garden, and invited his friends to come live with him. They ate simple meals. They talked. That was the whole program. He wasn't against pleasure. He thought pleasure was the entire point of life. But his definition of pleasure was strange. The highest pleasure, he said, isn't getting what you want. It's not wanting much in the first place. Stop chasing fame. Stop chasing money. Stop chasing the next thing. When you're not in pain, not anxious, not afraid, that calm feeling right there, that's it. That's the peak. Everything people exhaust themselves running toward is actually further away from happiness, not closer to it. His neighbors thought he was running some kind of cult. He was running a garden where people ate beans and had conversations. The fact that his name ended up on luxury food labels is honestly one of the funniest mix-ups in the history of ideas. He had a system for it, too. He split all human desires into 3 buckets. First, natural and necessary: food, shelter, friendship. These are easy to satisfy and they actually make you feel better. Second, natural but unnecessary: rich food, nice clothes, a bigger house. Fine to enjoy if they show up, but dangerous to depend on, because the craving never stops growing. Third, vain desires: fame, power, wealth. These have no natural limit. No matter how much you get, you can always get more. And the more you get, the more you want. That third bucket, Epicurus said, is where most human misery lives. And 23 centuries later, a study out of Harvard confirmed almost exactly the same thing. Researchers followed over 700 people for more than 80 years, from the 1930s to today, tracking what actually predicted a good life. It wasn't money. It wasn't career success. It wasn't fame. It was the quality of their close relationships. The people who had strong friendships and warm family connections were healthier, happier, and lived longer. Epicurus didn't have the data, but he had the answer. On the last day of his life, Epicurus was in terrible pain. Kidney stones had blocked his urinary tract. He could barely move. He wrote a letter to a friend and called it a happy day. Not because the pain wasn't real, it was brutal, but because he could still think back on good conversations, good friendships, a life spent doing what actually mattered to him. The pain was in his body. The happiness was somewhere else, somewhere the pain couldn't reach. Most people spend their whole lives adding things: more money, more status, more stuff, hoping it will eventually feel like enough. Epicurus figured out that happiness mostly works by subtraction. Remove the anxiety, remove the pointless wanting, remove the fear of death. What's left? That quiet, ordinary life with people you care about. That was the thing the whole time.